Imagine standing completely alone, not in a modern city filled with lights, but in a world that existed more than 50,000 years ago. There are no houses, no roads, no electricity, and no sound of civilization. Around you stretches an endless prehistoric forest. Massive trees rise toward the sky, their branches blocking the fading sunlight. The air smells of wet soil and wild plants. Every step you take reminds you that this land belongs to nature, not to humans. The sun slowly begins to disappear behind the distant mountains. At first, the forest looks beautiful. The sky turns orange, then deep red, then purple. Birds fly back to their nests, and the sounds of daytime slowly fade away. Then, everything changes. Within a few minutes, the last ray of sunlight disappears. The temperature drops. The wind becomes colder. The forest becomes silent. Too silent. You look around, trying to recognize the path you walked only moments ago. But the familiar trees now look like giant black figures. Every rock looks like an animal waiting to attack. Every shadow seems alive. Suddenly, a branch snaps somewhere behind you. Your body freezes. Your breathing becomes heavy. Your heart begins pounding so loudly that it almost drowns out every other sound. You slowly turn around. Nothing. Only darkness. But deep inside your mind, one terrifying question refuses to disappear. What made that sound? Thousands of years ago, this wasn't imagination. This was reality. For ancient humans, darkness was not simply the absence of light. Darkness meant uncertainty, and uncertainty often meant death. Every single sunset marked the beginning of the most dangerous part of the day. Modern humans often fear horror movies, ghosts, or fictional monsters. Ancient humans feared something much more real: hungry predators, powerful animals that had spent millions of years evolving to hunt after sunset. Lions, leopards, hyenas, wolves, creatures that could move almost silently through the darkness while humans struggled to see only a few meters ahead. Imagine being watched, without knowing where your enemy is. That was the reality our ancestors faced almost every night. Unlike many predators, humans never evolved excellent night vision. Our eyes perform incredibly well during daylight because they contain a high number of cone cells responsible for color and detail. But once darkness falls, those advantages disappear. Predators have far more rod cells, allowing them to detect movement in very low light. In simple words, the night belonged to them, not to us. Every evening forced ancient humans to make an important decision. Should they continue searching for food? Or should they return to shelter before darkness completely surrounded them? One wrong decision could mean becoming someone else's dinner. Over thousands of generations, those who respected the dangers of darkness survived more often than those who ignored them. Fear wasn't a weakness. Fear became one of humanity's greatest survival tools. And even today, millions of years later, that ancient survival instinct still exists inside every one of us. Have you ever walked through a dark hallway and suddenly felt like someone was behind you? Have you ever heard an unexpected sound at night and immediately looked over your shoulder? That reaction is not random. It is a message from your ancient ancestors, a message that once saved countless human lives. For thousands of years, this invisible survival system remained one of humanity's greatest advantages. Your ancestors did not survive because they were the strongest animals on Earth. They survived because they learned when to be careful. Imagine an ancient family returning to their cave just before sunset. The hunters are carrying food. The children stay close to their parents. Nobody wants to be left behind. As darkness slowly covers the land, every member of the tribe knows exactly what to do. Some gather dry branches. Some watch the entrance of the cave. Others listen carefully for unusual sounds outside. No one laughs loudly. No one wanders into the forest. Because everyone understands one simple rule. The night belongs to predators. Outside the cave, the forest begins to wake up. Owls fly silently between the trees. Wolves communicate through distant howls. Hyenas search for weak or injured animals. Large cats patiently wait for the perfect moment to attack. Ancient humans were no longer hunters. For a few dangerous hours, they could easily become prey. This constant danger changed the way humans thought. It forced them to plan ahead. During the day, they collected food before sunset. They searched for safe shelters. They stayed together instead of traveling alone. These simple habits slowly became traditions. Then they became instincts. Scientists believe many of our modern fears are connected to these ancient survival experiences. Why do many people feel uncomfortable walking through a dark forest? Why does an unexpected sound immediately grab our attention? Why do children naturally become afraid of complete darkness without anyone teaching them? Because the human brain is designed to protect us before it gathers all the facts. Deep inside your brain is a small structure called the amygdala. Think of it as an ancient alarm system. Whenever your senses detect something unusual, the amygdala reacts instantly. It doesn't wait for proof. It prepares your body for survival. Your heart beats faster. Your breathing becomes deeper. Your muscles tighten. Your eyes search for movement. Blood flows toward your arms and legs, preparing you to fight or run away. Today, this system activates when you watch a horror movie. Thousands of years ago, it activated because a predator might actually be hiding only a few meters away. Nature rewarded people who reacted quickly. Imagine two ancient hunters hearing the same strange noise. The first hunter ignores it. The second hunter immediately moves his family to safety. If the sound was harmless, both survive. But if a hungry leopard was hiding nearby, only one family lives to see another sunrise. Over thousands of generations, cautious behavior became part of human evolution. Fear wasn't the enemy. It was a life-saving tool. But animals were not the only reason humans feared the night. Darkness also confused the human mind. When your eyes cannot clearly see the world around you, your brain starts filling in the missing information. A tree branch suddenly looks like a human figure. Moving grass seems like an approaching animal. A rock appears to have a face. Psychologists call this pareidolia, our tendency to recognize meaningful patterns where none actually exist. Even today, people sometimes see faces in clouds or strange figures in shadows. Now imagine living 50,000 years ago without science, without electricity, without any understanding of how the brain works. Every strange shape felt real. Every unexplained sound carried meaning. Many early humans probably believed mysterious spirits lived in forests, mountains, and caves. These beliefs weren't simply imagination. They were humanity's first attempts to explain a dangerous and unpredictable world. Around campfires, elders shared stories about creatures that hunted careless people after sunset. Parents warned children never to wander away at night. Whether those creatures were real or not didn't matter. The stories kept families safe. In a strange way, fear became one of humanity's greatest teachers. It taught people to stay together. It taught them to prepare before sunset. It taught them that survival depended on cooperation, not bravery alone. And without realizing it, darkness helped shape the first true human communities. Every evening, families gathered close together. Food was shared. Experiences were discussed. Young children learned from older hunters. Knowledge passed from one generation to the next. The very thing humans feared most was quietly helping build civilization. But despite all their caution, there was still one problem they couldn't solve. They had no way to control the darkness. Every single sunset returned the world to nature. Every single night belonged to predators. Until one extraordinary event changed everything forever.